Kingdom. Peace and welcome to the Boom Bap Kingdom. We're here and we're super chilling, and I hope you guys are chilling too. Today I wanted to talk about flipping samples. What does that mean? What does that mean to me here at the Boom Bap Kingdom? And how can you take samples and make them unrecognizable so you can use them in your beat? So first off, what is a sample flip? Back in the days, in like the early 90s, etc., people used to consider a flip something like you would take a Luther Vandross sample and combine that with a drum loop like Impeach the President, and that was called a flip. Like, oh, did you hear how so-and-so flipped that Luther Vandross song? That's what they called a flip in the early days of sampling in hip hop. When you fast forward and you get into the realm of chopping, auto chop, what you begin to notice is those algorithms only really take the peak transients of a sample most of the time, unless you really dial it in to get as many slices as you can get. The algorithm will immediately latch on to the peak transients of the sample. You're taking the most common parts of the sample, it's being chopped up, and you're playing that back. How do I define flipping a sample, and why is this beneficial to you? The way I define it is taking a sample and turning it into something that is completely unrecognizable. What would I do in order to flip a sample? And how can you do the same thing? Today I'm on Machine Plus. I made my own loop on push 3. I sampled it directly from the push into Machine Plus. The way I like to sample and chop samples is I don't use auto chop, I don't auto slice, I don't do any of that stuff. I like to copy that sample out, and I like to chop what I want and then just truncate the rest off. The reason why I work that way is because I've been doing this so long. Auto chop did not exist. MPC60, the Ensoniq EPS-M, SP1200, that's the stuff I learned on, and none of that stuff had auto chop. The trick that I like to use, I'll take the quiet pieces in between the sample, chop that stuff out, pitch it, and then make my own loop. Sometimes I also will take the quiet pieces and turn those into a key group or keyboard mode and play something after I've pitched. So let's check that out over here. Here's my loop that I made. This is a Boom Bap Kingdom exclusive. Check it out. So I think you guys get the idea. Now, how do I make this sound completely different? First, I'm gonna really listen to the sample, and I'm gonna drag out the pieces that really speak to me. So if I listen to this, I can say that second chord, I really, really like that one. I really like that chord, I'm snatching that up. I like that piece. Snatching the parts that I find really interesting. I'm gonna take that little piece, it's super quiet, is really, really dope. We'll come back to that. We'll see if we can normalize it, make it louder. Let's keep it pushing. Hear that? We got that little vocal piece and that little doot 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 doot. I like that. Let's keep it going. Let's snatch this little piece right here. And then I think I want this last piece right here. We're gonna truncate and we'll see what we can normalize. So we got, okay, cool. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna normalize this stuff. Yep. And they normalize really good. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do is pitch. Now, if you hear that ringing, you know I've ran this through the SP1200 emulation on Machine Plus. I really like that emulation. I love that sound. And I ran this group through that. So each one of these samples will have that applied to it. And that really becomes apparent when you start to pitch. Come on. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a choke group so we could choke these guys out when each one hits. This is already gonna be super fire. I could already hear it. I have a drum loop and the whole nine already. Let's bang out. I'm gonna lay that down, why not? It's really that simple. We can go into the mixer and we can start messing with volume just to make sure our levels are good. Let's bring this stuff down, maybe 5 dB, just to let the drums hit a little harder. This is how we flip, we chop things up. The smallest pieces in between the interesting pieces, not necessarily hitting on those big transients, because typically that's what most beat makers and producers are going to gravitate toward. They gravitate toward the large transients. They take that and then they start banging out. Let's do something different. We take some of these pieces in between and we pitch them, and then we start playing things out, run them through a little emulation, etc. Now we could even take it a step further and we can go into the sampler and we can reverse some of these as well. And that's also going to give us some movement and some diversity within the beat. Let's reverse that one. Let's reverse that one too. We chopped in between some of the transients that people would not necessarily use, the quiet parts. We normalized those, pitched them down, ran them through SP1200 emulation, and we reversed a couple of them. So when we made our loop, now we get a little bit of diversity and interesting movement within the beat. So check it out now. And that sounds completely different from the original sample. These are just tips and tricks you guys can put in your toolbox. Get in those comments. Let me know what you guys think. How do you flip samples? What would you do to flip a sample to make it sound completely different? Do you agree with my concept of flipping a sample? If you agree or disagree, get in those comments. I want to hear your thoughts. And with that, I'll leave you with a BBK salute. Peace.